Welcome to Talking Voiceovers with me, Gail Goslin. Today we'll be talking to Seipati Molefe, a voice artist and documentary producer. She'll be talking to us about our 11 home languages and how you can get into voiceovers and translations in your home language. Welcome, Seipati.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you tell us your story? How did you come to be a voiceover artist and also produce documentaries?
It's a long story because it starts with the career I wanted to be in broadcasting or media space. I used to go and camp there at SABC in the late 90s. So I was told that, if you really want to work with us and you need a shortcut, rather be a teacher, go and do a teacher training course, because most of the broadcasters, like the presenters then, they were teachers. They were former teachers. I went to the college. I did my teaching diploma. Thereafter, I went back to SABC knocking, and there was no work for me. And I thought, okay, fine. Then I taught. I was a teacher for almost 10 years. So I would maybe during my spare time go to the studio. I got a big break there was a guy who was working at SABC. I think he was a newsreader, Abud Alf Mudiba. Then I would go and do voiceovers. I was blank that time. I didn't know what I was doing. I would get the script and just read because I know that I'm a good reader. Hence, I was like, if I can get into the booth and read the news at SABC, then that's going to be perfect, And from there, I got another break, my second break of being in studio from Ogilvy. So I went to Ogilvy, I did an ad, and the person who was producing me was Ndadetebo Puteo, very fussy about Sesotho. He taught me different types of delivery. He would tell me that this is a hard sell, this is a soft sell. Like I was just clueless. But I learned, because when it comes to vernacular, especially Sesotho, I'm perfect. I grew up in Lesotho. The delivery, it's something else. So the language, I normally say when I produce people, you can't teach a person to speak a language at this age,
Yeah.
But a person has to come with the basics, and you just have to, guide a person in studio in terms of delivery. I think I appreciate what they have taught me, especially in the Debo Puteo, because he would drill me, he would guide me, and you will come out of the studio crying because up until you get what you are supposed to deliver, he wouldn't let you go. It was about the client's happiness. Even now, it still applies,
Of course. Yeah, it's all about the client. That's why we do it.
Yeah. That's how I came into, doing the voiceovers. So the origin is from my passion, my love of being in the media space, in broadcasting, because I could feel that I can read perfectly and fluently without, any hassle.
Yeah, so that's a wonderful story. You learned on the job, and you got yourself better by doing it more and more. And you were lucky to have somebody actually drill you to it and not just say, "Oh no, you're terrible," and never hire you again, which could
Exactly.
happen.
No, it does happen. As producers, I think we need to be like teachers. My teaching background is the one that taught me to be patient and to have that spirit of information sharing and mentoring and coaching people. Because when it comes to supervising, because that's what I do a lot, you don't have to really pull a person down, You have to guide them, the positive feedback. You have to guide them and say, this is not how we say it. This is not how we do it. Not telling a person that, you are a loser. You can't amount to, that's how I am. I also drill, I guess. Most of the people will come out of the studio, sweating, but at the end of the day, the product will be there. We don't produce half-baked commercials.
Absolutely, yeah. Do you teach voiceover as well?
I am in the process of getting accreditation from the MICT CETA. So I've been talking to them. I have to submit the documents. I want to do training because I think I have more than 20 years experience in this industry. And I did masters in human resource management, but I did it in Queensland University of Technology in Brisbane. I've been doing voiceovers all my life. I've never written a copy. I don't know how to conceptualize. I don't know how to, I'm just there at the end, of things. So I really want to know more about advertising. Then I got an opportunity to do electives in my human resource management course. I did copywriting and art directing. I did advertising, intro to advertising. When I discovered that, I was like, but I think we need to impart this knowledge to as many people as possible. I have a company called Botlhale Media and Promotions, whereby I advertise my company on billboards with the help of JC Deco. So many people call me looking for jobs. And the intention for me advertising the company is to get the clients. The target audience is the marketing managers in the company, Tiger Brands and all those companies, and also the advertising agencies, the creative people, to see that I can do translations. I can help them to conceptualize in vernacular, Sesotho, Setswana, Sezulu, all those, our 11 languages, official languages. But now I get the opposite, meaning that the message, maybe my messaging doesn't, connect with the target audience, because I just get a few of people that want to give me work. 80% is those that are looking for employment. They will tell me that we do translations, we want to be in translations and voiceovers. Hence, I thought, let me do the training so that we have a pool. Now we are struggling to get people who really have the knowledge and the skill to do translations and also to do voiceovers. There are very few people. It's us, the old crocs, So the new talent is very, very scarce. Hence, I want to groom them, mentor and coach them so that I also distribute to talent management agencies and the production companies.
You would be coaching new talent that you can then supply to the agencies. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Where can new talent reach you, or somebody who would like to get into voiceovers?
My company is Botlhale Media and Promotions. The website is www.tlhalemedia, which is TLHALE media.co.za, and my telephone numbers and the address, they are all there on the website. So they can contact me from there. And when they Google Botlhale Media and Promotions or Seipati Molefe Ditshwane, Google will lead them to myself.
So once you've trained up talent, besides sending them to agencies, do you also use them in the productions that you do?
I do that. We really struggle to get people that are skilled, and also the mother language speakers. You know how the young generation is. Most of them, they don't have the foundations of language. So I want to try to bring them on board to teach them the language itself and also teach them the techniques of voiceover production.
And what would be one piece of advice that you could share with us for young talent, people who would like to get into voiceovers?
There's a lot, they must try to be as African as possible. When it comes to language, like I mentioned before, it's very difficult to teach a person the basics of the mother tongue when a person is older, So they must try to speak their mother tongue as much as possible, and try to research about the terminology, about the pronunciation, because to pronounce, it's very difficult. So you'll be a simple word, you'll be guiding a person to say a simple word, but once a person turns that around and say it in an incorrect manner, I'm telling you, the meaning is lost. The context is lost. As a result, you will be selling a product that is not there at the end of the day. So my advice would be to speak their mother tongue as much as possible and fluently. And they must learn from their elders. They must never be afraid to ask. They must always be inquisitive Because as long as there is radio, there will always be mother tongue. That's what's nice about the voiceover industry and the voiceover production. As long as there is radio, there's Lesedi FM, Motsweding FM, and all those radio stations that are broadcasting the mother tongue, we will never run out of business. And as long as there are companies still willing to advertise and sell their products and market their products on radio using the mother tongue, I'm telling you, we will never be out of business. People will be complaining about Corona and the effects of Corona on the business, negative effects. But with us, we'll be saying, like the whole part of those months that lockdown was introduced last year, I was busy translating, and I did some voiceovers using my the voice recorder app. Then I will send my voice clips to the studio. They will edit without a problem. So the future is there in voiceovers. My advice is speak in your own language. Bua, speak, kuluma, rather than you, because you end up finding a person twanging the mother tongue. How do you twang a mother tongue? You have to put your tongue down, speak as fluent as possible, without twanging, sounding English, yet you are speaking in your mother tongue. How do you do that? So that's my main advice. Yes, English will take you somewhere, because if you travel out of the country, you'll meet people that can't converse in your mother tongue. We appreciate that. But if you want to be in this industry, have the basics of mother tongue. Then the rest you'll be at least taught in the studio.
So there is work out there for people who speak mother tongue properly. There is work.
There's a lot.
There is a lot.
Now because my intention is also to do production of audiobooks. So there's a lot of work out there. And there are also people that are calling me, requesting assistance with their kids, because their kids are in multiracial schools.
Yeah.
And they can't get to teach them the mother tongue. So they want a person who can teach them mother tongue. So if we have those audiobooks, who knows, they can be bought and they just listen. You know how our kids are.
It's a very valuable tool, yeah.
If they are animated, then it's something that's gonna, be beneficial to them.
Because we need to keep the mother tongues alive, and they mustn't be diluted with the mixing of English and other languages. Yeah, it's important.
Even from the French point of view, yourself.
Yes. No, definitely. There's a big movement to keep the language as pure as possible where it is getting diluted. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So what kind of productions do you do at the moment?
I do advertising. Currently, I mainly work as a freelancer. I do a variety. Like now, I do mainly the retail and other productions, bank dramas. I act in radio dramas because, brands are now running away from doing this 30-seconders. They are more into dramatizing their products, because if they dramatize them and they are conversational, the target audience is able to associate and align themselves to the storyline, to say, okay, if you are talking about, for instance, a funeral plan, and a 30-seconder sometimes won't be able to deliberate and send a message that a drama would normally do, So I act in those dramas. The mining companies, they have dramas. The banks, they have dramas. And other brands, they have dramas to sell their products. And the new products that are coming to markets, and the old ones, they rebrand and try to,
Is it necessary to have an acting background to do these audio dramas?
I think it is necessary, because remember, a listener shouldn't hear that you are reading. So in order for you not to be heard that you are reading, what other way can you do it except for being in a character, dramatizing, acting it out, because the script is written in a dramatic format. So You have to have the basics, because now you'll be reading the script. And when I'm listening, I'm like, this person, though, it's reading. We are not supposed to be heard as if we are reading. A listener should just enjoy listening to this message in a dramatic way. So I guess, yeah,
It helps.
the answer is yes, it does help. It does help.
If you're enjoying this interview, give us a thumbs up. So now, how could youngsters get involved in things like that? If, let's say, they came to you for coaching for language, or if they had their own coaching, would they be able to record such things at home, or would they need to go into a studio?
They can. What is nice, the Android nowadays, it has so many apps. I think the youngsters have mobile phones with apps, and they can download the video recorder on the, not video recorder per se, but voice recorder, and then get the scripts and do the demos, because most of the time demos are required. So if you have never even tried to do the demo, how are people going to know about yourself?
So an audition, you say that they could do auditions by recording them on their phone. They wouldn't need to get equipment.
No, they don't need any studio in order for a person to do the demos. Hence, I say during lockdown, I used to record. Actually, my other client is the one that recommended that I buy. Okay, there are others that are free, but we bought that. It wasn't even 100 rands, the app, the voice recorder app. I was able to record. The only thing is the sound. Remember, like your sponge is there in the background. Now you have to cushion the place where you record from. So if it's cushioned, or you go into the car, if there is a car at home, they go into the car, they record from there, because the space is small and allows. Others will go into the bedroom, put in the mattresses, just to have that soundproof effect. But it's doable, it's doable, it's doable. They mustn't even sweat.
That's amazing advice. I'm sure that this kind of advice hasn't been given before. A lot of people frown on recording on your phone, but it's true that you have now better and better phones and better apps. Is there a particular place where people could go to find auditions for audio dramas, for example?
My advice would be for them to perhaps join agencies, because there are lots of agencies that do both TVCs, TV commercials, and voiceovers as well. So they represent people in both ways.
And you can find agencies online with a bit of research.
Agencies are there online, and I think PMA as well has a list of agencies, and their voiceover rates are there as well. So there are resources as well on the PMA website. I know Intertalent specializes in voiceovers. It's an agency. Contractors does as well. There's a lot. There's a lady, Ufenze Moremi, she does as well. When you start as a newbie, it's difficult for you to be known and to advertise your skill. And on Facebook, we have me and you, we are a member of Savane.
Yes, for the professional voice
So
artists.
I think they can even join such platforms.
Well, there's Mzansi Voiceover People, which is aimed for all the newbies and youngsters starting out.
So there are platforms out there where they can join and be part of and mingle. So if you are known, they must be visible. They must make themselves known. Recording demos, checking online for the scripts, starting there, recording themselves, posting on Instagram, wherever. Join the communities. I'm a member of international community because I joined voices.com a few years ago. They normally hold workshops, webinars, and I become part of those webinars. I attend webinars just to sharpen my skills.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
and of course, watch all the videos from Talking Voiceovers.
Yeah. So that's my advice. Let them start somewhere. Let them record something and post it. Even if they post on their WhatsApp statuses, people look at statuses, and they can attract one or few people.
So do you think there is a market out there internationally also for home languages?
There is, because there are companies that, like, I think it's Transperfect. They are based overseas. they really utilize the vernaculars and mother tongue speakers, South African languages.
Also, even speaking in English with your natural accent, I've found
Yeah.
that there's a market for that too.
Yes, there is.
So the possibilities are endless.
Possibilities are there, I'm telling you. And remember, even with this new technology of gaming needs voiceovers. Audiobooks need voiceovers, e-learning to record the e-learning material. Some people prefer listening rather than reading, something physical. So there's a lot that can be done in voiceovers. And like I say, radio is there, and radio will never die. So it means the mother tongue will never die, because remember, radios are broadcasting regionally. The Basotho radio station, the Mazulu radio station, Bavenda, Batsonga, Amaxhosa, and so on. So I see a bright future for voiceovers. I see a bright future.
For certain, definitely. Will you be coaching translation then as well as voiceover? Is that what you said?
I'm going to start with voiceovers, but without translations, there are no voiceovers, So meaning that there will be integration somewhere, because you translate a script and you want to deliver the message, that is in the script. So how do you do that? You use the voiceover. Obviously, they will have to learn how to analyze the script and bring out the emotions, the tone, and all those techniques that we normally use. I think they are related. Right. So even not necessarily to write the script, but to know how to unpack the script and analyze it before you can say your first word in the booth.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you would like to add about voiceovers?
What I can say again as a last take is that if you want to be in the voiceover industry, network with other people, like-minded people, join as many groups as possible so that you are able to network, you are able to make contacts, establish relationships. If you are not known and you are sitting in your corner, nobody will know about your expertise, about your skill. So try to get out of the corner and go to the people, not literally, because we are home, but go out there. There are so many platforms that you can introduce yourself, and it doesn't help going into the studio without preparing. So preparation is also very important. So preparation means you read. And most of the ads, they don't give you the script to prepare and go and record. You get the script there and you must be ready. So being fluent means you practice. As they say, practice makes perfect. So you read anything that you come across, you read aloud. It will assist to familiarize yourself with the vocab that is out there, the pronunciation that is out there, the tonality. Preparation, I think, is very, very important as well. Don't embarrass yourself. Go to the session without preparing, and always be early, be on time, because that time you'll get the script, be able to go through it. And I grew up in Lesotho, so I go to an extra length of when I translate. I call my cousin, who is a Sesotho teacher in Lesotho. She gives me the vocab that we don't normally use, So I come up with some fresh words, that are going to entertain and be music to the ears of the listener. When they listen, they will be like, wow, this person is so perfect in Sesotho. That's what we want to achieve. Absolutely. To be as fluent as possible. Yeah. To showcase your mother tongue talent,
And also to showcase the beautiful language.
I agree.
Wonderful words of advice. Thank you very much, Seipati.
Yeah, I'm a lifelong learner personally, so I never stop learning. Every little chance and opportunity I get to learn something new, I learn. And I don't undermine any advice, any recommendation, any suggestion from, experts.
That's the best way to keep going forward, is to keep learning.
Yeah. And let's work and preserve our culture, because language is part of our culture. And about the documentaries, that's what I intend doing in future, preserving the culture.
What sort of documentaries are you looking at doing?
It's going to be about culture, exactly what we are talking about. So various forms of cultural activities, and they will focus on mother tongue. So if we focus on isiZulu, we'll be focusing on how AmaZulu do their cultural activities. If it's Basotho, how Basotho interact, how they perform, how they exercise their culture. Remember, there was an issue of the Ndebele men who went to the shopping mall in Midrand.
Yes.
And I don't know whether it was the shopping center manager who barred that man from entering the mall just because he was being himself. So in order for us not to encounter that, we need to teach people about their culture, because he is Black just like myself. But he was like, no, you can't come in here dressing the way you have dressed. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Hence, I'm saying even our kids won't have any cultural legacy that is left if we don't do this.
Absolutely.
Especially the language part. They won't know who they are, where they come from, where they are going, because they won't have any point of reference. By, producing the cultural documentaries, you are like preserving the culture, and you preserve it for the future generations, so that in future, when they see a person dressing like that, speaking a different language, they don't get embarrassed.
Yeah, you should be proud of your cultural legacy. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Fabulous.
Exactly.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing them.
You are going to see them very, very soon. I'm going to collaborate with some production company that is already producing some movies and dramas. So we are going to be starting with the production of those. But we were supposed to start last year, but because of the lockdown, Corona thing, everything just came to a standstill. Our lives were interrupted. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Seipati. You've provided us with some amazingly different, new, fresh advice. Thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. And thank you too.
Thank you for watching Talking Voiceovers. If you don't want to miss any of the episodes, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell button. We'll see you next time.